Hi there. We're going to be doing lesson 30 pretty soon, and you're going to be graphing some functions. Remember functions? Last one of the representations of functions was a graph. But we need to do a little bit of work with our handy dandy TI-84s today. Figure out which buttons to push. This is one of your best tools here for doing some of the math. So I'm going to be showing you a few things in this short video. Number one, show you how to enter things into the y equals editor. Secondly, we're going to go ahead and set the, I don't know what you want to call it. We're going to go ahead and set the different boundaries for a table. And then we'll show you how to view that table and find the information that you want. Fourth, I'm going to show you how to see a graph and a table at the same time. We're going to do all those things with this. Got a new operating system on there if you've got a new one. Otherwise, we can upload one for you and do some work there. First thing we'll do here is just how we enter things in the y equals editor. And you may already know that. And so I just laid out the steps, though. Now I can point to them, and maybe you can't see them too well, but show you which buttons to push on the calculator to do that. Now, the first thing to do is to make sure that you press the on button. Yeah, I know that's like pretty complicated, but there you go, the on button. And then your y equals editor is located up here at the top. Okay, all our graphing and manipulating things are going to have to do with a lot of things up here across the top row. So you can go ahead and press that y equals button, and you get this menu that pops down with a whole bunch of different places in order to put equations. Now, don't worry about the color. Don't worry about the line thickness right now. The cursor should be on the equal sign. So you're going to use these arrows here. Push the arrow to move it to the side so that it's not on the equal sign but next to the equal sign. Okay? The next thing you're going to want to do is in the book, it asks us to enter an equation in there, and the equation is 3x plus 5. Well, the 3 and the plus and the 5 are not so bad, but the x that we're going to use is going to be this one right up here next to that green button. See, it says x and t and theta and n. It depends on the mode that you're in as to what it will display, but since we're in regular function mode, it'll display an x. So you want to go ahead and go 3x plus 5, and then once that's in, you need to make sure that you push the enter button, and the cursor will go down to the next line. That sets it so that it knows that's your function, that's your math machine that it wants to work with. That's the first step. Okay? Y equals editor. Move it over, type it in, make sure that you hit enter so that that equation is loaded. Our second thing is that we don't want to see the graph yet, but we do want to see a table, one of those representations of a function where we have an x list and a y list, like a t-chart kind of thing. And you could go straight to it, but we want to make sure that the settings are right for seeing what we want to see. So again, across the top there, you can see in the white, window, zoom, trace, and graph, but above the white, we have some things in blue. And those are accessed by using the blue second button right there, which means you can get to stat plot, table set, format, calculate, and table. And what we're going to do first here, our second task is table set. So you're going to press the blue button first, and the cursor changes to an up arrow. And then you're going to press the window button to access the table set. And it should look, for starters, like this. And you can change the value at which your table will start. That is, the x value in the way that it's set up right now will start at 0 and go by ones. You can see that delta TBL, that means how much the table changes for each new entry. So it should start at 0 and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and on from there. The other ones, independent and dependent, have to do with the variables like x's and y's, and they should be set right now for auto. We can talk about later about doing it the other way, where you get to ask it for a number and it will give an output that way. So it should be set to this. but it could be set for anything. And in the book, I believe they say that they would like to start at 15. Okay, so we can just type in 15 and make sure that we hit the enter button. Cursor will go down to the next one, and the book would like that to go by 30s. So you can type in 30 and then hit enter, and the cursor will go down again. So they would like it set up like that, but you can, whatever problem you're going through, set it up however you would like to. So that's table set, accessed again through second and then window. That gets to table set. You can tell it where to start, how far apart the numbers, the entries should be, and then independent and dependent should be set to auto. The next thing is to go ahead and view that table. And so if you look across the top, you saw way over here you got the button that says graph, but in the blue above it says table. So go ahead and try it. Go second, graph, and you should get something that looks like this. And note that the first entry there is 15 for X, and you're allowed to use your arrows to go up and down, but they should be going up by 30 every single time. So it should be 45 and 75 and 105. And if you keep your cursor over there in the X column, you can go up too by 30s, or you can go, the other way and it'll subtract 30. Okay, and you can scroll down and it will keep extending that list as long as you want to. So I'm going to go back up there and push it so that it starts at 15 again. I want you to note that if you use the arrows and go over here to the Y values, you can't go up. It'll just go up to the column. So you have to be in the X column in order to see more vertically. Okay, so there you've got ordered pairs basically, right? 15 goes along with 50, and 45 goes with 140, and 75 goes with 230. And they just want you to be able to see those and scroll through them and be able to find the various numbers that go along with that equation, 3x plus 5. So one last thing that they don't do on this, and that is if you want to see the graph of this and you want to see the table at the exact same time. And that would be under, above zoom, it says format. So we go second, format. And you got a whole bunch of possibilities here. Is that where it is? I don't know. Polar, grid, color, axes, labels. No, it doesn't seem to be. I bet it's I thought it was format. Mode? Okay. You go to the mode button next to the second button. Press the mode button. And if you go down a ways, you get where it says under real, it says full. You can go over there and scroll over to graph table and hit enter. And now if you push this graph or you go to show the table, it should show both. It should show the graph on one side and the table on the other. And as you scroll up and down, those points would become apparent if it's on the graph. So graph and table at the same time actually might be a good idea. As we get into graphing a function, you can see how the T-chart relates to the picture as well. This picture's not set up too well for that, but I can change that. Okay, let's try this. You might get a graph that looks like this, and then the table, and it'll put the little cursor on the graph at the point that you're looking at right then. I'll show you how to do that. Maybe if you come to class, I'll show you how to change the window on the graph. We're not worried about that quite yet. I just wanted to show you how you can generate a table and see all those numbers, what all that means. Okay, so there you go. This works when you use it. Okay, when you get used to finding the buttons to push, you don't be afraid to push buttons on your calculator. Worst thing that can happen is that you just need to go back and fix something, but But I take seminars on how to use these things, and I've had them for over 20 years, so I can help you figure out what to do to push the right buttons to see the right things. Okay, so tune back in for lesson 30. We'll start graphing some functions, and that'll be good fun.